This is Hinos Sport bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping a foot on the what? On the next. We keeping a foot on the what? On the next. Now let's talk about it, man. This is what Gervonta Tank Davis was talking about. Boxing has a bunch of fucking trolls. You see what they're doing, man? Like la cucaracha, la cucaracha. Yo no puedo caminar. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Yo no puedo caminar. They were scattering like fucking cockroaches. The cold-hearted, the unadulterated, and the cutthroat true telefashion is as simple as this. When we look at Vasiliy Lomachenko and this shoulder injury, the man could very well have a shoulder injury. Why are trolls following each other like la cucarachas, like cockroaches, and saying that the soldier's injury is an excuse? When have we seen Vasiliy Lomachenko ever make an excuse about a shoulder injury? When have we emphatically seen that Vasiliy Lomachenko ever say some shit that was sideways for him to basically say that he's faking something? That doesn't make any sense. See, this doesn't fit people's bias narratives. Because we're speaking logic over bias. Let me say it again. We're speaking logic over bias. I've looked at Vasiliy Lomachenko's catalog after everyone was running with this narrative about shoulder injury. See, folks are mad that he knows the sport, bringing you that heat and that fire and keeping a foot on the what? On the next. And keeping a foot on the what? On the next. Said that this was a fucking robbery. And he was a standard bearer and a trendsetter on YouTube on this shit. And it made people question the fight. And more people went back and was like, hold up. As you see, more and more people coming out saying he knows the sport. Now that I'm going back, now that I slow-moed it based on your recommendation, now that I'm going round by round, Vasiliy Lomachenko landed the cleaner shots. And if Vasiliy Lomachenko was dealing with a shoulder issue while he was fighting, that could explain a whole lot on why he was hesitant in the first half of the fight. But he didn't make that excuse at the end of the fucking fight. Not like Manny Pacquiao. So I don't get why Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brains, classic Dolce Troglodytes, ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, are lumping him with Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. This guy makes excuses left and right. Or they trying to lump him in with Cinnamon Alvarez. He makes excuses left and right. Oh, Clint Bruderall, it was the Mexican meat. Vasiliy Lomachenko's not known to be making excuses, man. And I'm not high on Vasiliy Lomachenko. But what we're not going to do is what's called defamation of character here. Let me say it again. We're not going to do what's called defamation of character. This is what trolls do on YouTube. And you could see it because everyone that's following the wave of going against and being just adverse to Vasiliy Lomachenko, because you can't stand Vasiliy Lomachenko for one reason or another. Either if it's the comparisons with Floyd Mayweather. Who gives a flying fuck? People are going to think whatever the fuck they want to think. So motherfuckers are taking this shit personal? That, oh, he ain't Floyd. I don't give a fuck if somebody tell me that Vasiliy Lomachenko, they think Vasiliy Lomachenko's on the level of Floyd. That's their fucking opinion. We can't force feed people's opinion and try to tell people they need to bend the fucking knee based on their opinion. But we make people bend the proverbial fucking knee against facts. Because when it's all about truth-telling fashion, it's about cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth-telling fashion. It's about telling the most visceral truths. It's about basically rendering truth. Then when truth stands up in the fire and truth stands up against opinions, then the truth will reign. But when it's opinion versus opinion, you can't really tell another motherfucker how to dictate their opinion because it's their fucking opinion, because you're coming with your own opinion. And this is what's happening. And he knows the sport. And the prediction king strikes again. And the prediction king strikes again. The prediction king is revealing himself as such. The prediction king strikes again. If you're adverse to Lomachenko and you're sitting here and running with narratives to say that he's faking a shoulder injury, you are a fucking troll. And if you're sitting here being like a bunch of these la cucaracha, yo no puedo caminar. La cucaracha, yo no puedo caminar. If you being like fucking these other fucking cockroaches and scattering all over the place, then you are nothing like Gervonta Tank Davis but a fucking troll. Again, look at Vasiliy Lomachenko's catalog. He's never talked about a shoulder injury after a fight. And Vasiliy Lomachenko, unlike Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez, he took on a hard fight. See, and fight fans don't want to admit that shit. Again, I'm not high on Vasiliy Lomachenko, but I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it a buck, and I'm going to keep it 100. He took on an arduous fight for all of the fucking marbles and all of the belts. And instead of fight fans saying that, let's just keep it boxing, let it keep it boxing, you know, the one trick pony arcade viewpoint, they're not even doing that fuck shit. They're being opera singers on YouTube, going on one channel, yeah, and going on another channel, yeah, and now they're doing it video after video, yeah. That's what they do at their truest and their most properest levels. They do a, yeah, they fucking opera singers, man. Because that's what Gervonta Tate Davis was talking about. They're nothing but fucking trolls. See, this is what it's not about here. We're going to call a spade here. All because Lomachenko's not black. Who gives a flying fuck? Because when it's all said and done, Vasiliy Lomachenko is not a hype job. He knows the sport never said that. And you can go and look at the catalog to verify, quantify, and calculate that. He got there for a reason. Even Floyd Mayweather's of the world, Gervonta Tate Davis of the world, Andre Ward's of the world, all of them said Vasiliy Lomachenko is a very good fighter. They don't use the word great with him, but they say he's very, very good. And he knows the sport feels that Vasiliy Lomachenko is a very, very good fighter. He got where he got for a reason. So let's not sit here and try to break down this man's accomplishments because it doesn't fit your bias. Or say that he's faking a shoulder injury because it doesn't fit your bias. How many times has Floyd Mayweather had injuries in between fights? And his Flomo fans defended him. Keep that same energy, dog. Let me say it again. Keep that same energy. So now on YouTube, we got a whole bunch of motherfuckers that are mental or medical professionals. First, we had mental supposed professionals with Earl the True Spence diagnosing that he had some mental issues. I tell you, man, boxing is filled with a bunch of fucking trolls. Now we got motherfuckers that's giving us medical diagnosis on a man's shoulder injury, as if his shoulder injury may not be valid. It may not be what it is, necessitated. See, I could understand if Vasiliy Lomachenko said this shit immediately after the fight. I would be right there agreeing with everybody else. Okay, something sketchy about that. That's what Manny Pacquiao of the world did against Floyd Mayweather. But Vasiliy Lomachenko didn't do that shit. Vasiliy Lomachenko basically went through the post conference, said what the fuck he said, and then he went and had shoulder injury way after the fucking fact. That's more valid. When Deontay Wilder had the dent in his fucking head, we sat here and we said it was legitimized because Tyson Fury cheated the fuck out of his ass. But the super duper hype job variation, because he has a whole bunch of super duper hype job variation fanboys, they just want to be happy or they want to get this win. But he knows the sport is not letting you get this win because he's keeping the foot on the what? On the next. He's keeping the foot on the what? On the next. The bottom line is this, man. Boxing has a bunch of fucking trolls. And you see it. They all like fucking cockroaches. A domino effect. Saying Lomachenko's making excuses. Are you a fucking doctor? And until you have a doctor's degree that denotes that you're a fucking doctor, why don't you stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense? Go sit down somewhere and what? Higgity fucking hush. The bottom line is this. When we look at Vasiliy Lomachenko and we look at the Teofimo Lopez fight, Hino's Sport was right. You see, now everyone is following Hino's Sport's wave. Because natural born leaders, we don't follow, we fucking lead. And I told you motherfuckers, based on the three-pronged monster element of economics, politics, and pugilism, it makes sense that there's going to be a fucking rematch. Because you have too many boxing fans torn on how this first fight went. And if that's the case, rematch clause or not, you dodo heads, you brain full of mush, you brainwash followers, the fight is going to happen nevertheless. And hence, robbery makes sense. The fix is in makes sense. And they wanted to build up this super duper hype job variation because they knew if his ass lost this fight, he would have been on mental suicide watch or he would have been on mental witness protection because he would have retired completely from the sport. That's the cold-hearted, that's the unadulterated, and that's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. This is Hino's Sport. Checking out.